profile of nano enterprises. At dito po, we will talk about their livelihood characteristics, how they access financing, how they participate in the market, how they cope in times of emergencies, paano ba sila in terms of digital inclusion, access to government programs and services, and the way forward on how to help our nano enterprises. So, ano ba yung nano enterprises, no? So, distinguish natin sila from micro enterprises. Ang assets po ng nano enterprises ay nasa 3,000 to 150,000 pesos, habang ang micro enterprises ay 150,000 to greater than 150,000 to 3 million pesos. That's how we propose it, no? Employees, 0 for nano enterprises or unpaid family members, yung kasama nila. Tapos sa micro, 1 to 9 ang employees. Ang enterprise registration, mostly unregistered ang mga nano enterprises, samantalang ang mga micro enterprises ay mostly registered. At ang approximate number natin dyan, ang estimate po ng SEDPI sa ating pag-aaral, nasa 8.1 million ang nano enterprises sa Pilipinas at 1 million ang nasa micro enterprise. Okay? So ito pong nano enterprises natin, they are typically unregistered livelihoods of self-employed individuals or informal solopreneurs. Mag-isa lang talaga sila, no? Self-employed at hindi rehistrado. At yung asset size nila nag-range from 3,000 to 150,000. They operate their business alone or with the help of their unpaid family members, targeting their immediate local communities. So yan po yung nakikita natin usually sa mga nano enterprises. So 8.1 million po ang estimate natin sa kanila as of 2022. So why nano enterprises? Why do we need to focus on them, no? Most government programs fall under the banner of micro enterprises, 'di ba? Malamang baka ngayon nyo lang narinig yung nano enterprises. At because of this, it grossly misrepresents the needs and largely excludes the magnitude of nano enterprises. Kasi 'di ba, yung micro enterprises ay assets up to 3 million pesos. Pag tumungtong ka na ng milyon, di milyonaryo ka na. Pero ito pong mga nano enterprises ay hindi, no? Sila po ay usually mga poor, no? Mga low income sila na mahihirap. So we want to make nano enterprises visible because this will mean na magkakaroon ng more effective and customized policies and programs for them dahil sila ay isineseparate from the bigger whole, no? And we would be able to provide them with the opportunity to grow into a more sustainable enterprise that would lift them out of poverty, no? So directly addressing kasi pag directly kasi natin na-address yung needs ng mga nano enterprises, mare-reduce natin yung number of poor Filipinos, and that is a very good opportunity, no? And it would be a great leap forward for our economic development. Okay, so let's go to their profiles, sa kanilang livelihood characteristics. So, now, usually, ito ay mga sari-sari store operators. Examples lang natin, no? Karinderya, mga smallholder farmers and fisher folks, mga dressmakers, ambulant vendors, mga gig economy, no? Delivery riders, rideshare drivers, mga freelancers, mga graphic artists, video editors. These are all, etong mga to po ay nakaklasify natin under the banner of nano enterprises. Kasi di ba, usually low income and then sila po ay solo entrepreneurs. Okay? They use rudimentary and obsolete equipment in manufacturing or delivering services, and they lease more advanced equipment, no? Usually kapag ikaw ay farmer, for example, hindi mo pagmamay-ari yung tractor mo, di ba? Ikaw ay nag-hire ng tractor. Micro enterprises typically have better equipment and ownership of the equipment. Sa nano enterprises, typically hiram yan. Okay? Livelihood characteristics, individuals who typically have low educational levels, they hardly maintain bookkeeping records and mostly unregistered and do not pay business permits and taxes. So yan po yung sa nano enterprises. They also lack managerial and technical skills to grow their livelihood. They are forced to be entrepreneurs due to the lack of employment opportunities and have limited access to technology, information, and financing. They also have low productivity and low product quality because all of this, no? So, pag titignan natin talaga, yung mga nano enterprises, pasan nila ang daigdig, di ba? Ayan. So, how do they access finance? They heavily rely on loans to afford basic needs for food, education, shelter, utilities, and recover from disaster. They also use their loans to grow their livelihood. So, usually, loans ang nagiging tool nila to address their needs at pag-grow ng kanilang enterprise. And more often than not, ito po ay hindi appropriate. Kasi dapat, for example, for wedding, anniversaries, and death, savings and insurance po dapat ang talagang nagagamit dyan. No? And of course, wag natin kakalimutan, social safety nets from the government. They typically access loans from informal sources, therefore they are vulnerable to predatory financing practices. Most also borrow from cooperatives, rural banks, microfinance NGOs, and pawn shops, and majority borrow from family and friends in limited amounts. In terms of debt, no, nano enterprises are typically trapped in debt. No? Hindi na natatapos-tapos ang utang sa kanila. Ay, which naalala ko lang, no? Congratulations pala sa sister ko kasi kahapon daw ay last na payment niya sa kanyang housing mortgage. So congratulations sa'yo, Ate Cash. Ayan. Access to finance, ano pa yung masasabi natin? They have few savings and insurance products that are available to them na nagki-cater sa kanilang mga pangangailangan, no? So, kasi ang kailangan nila dapat ay simple lang, mabilis, accessible, and affordable, no? MFIs usually use loans as the financial product to address livelihood needs, coping in times of emergencies, and financing for major life events, no? So, MFIs aim to increase their loan portfolio and because it's far simpler to offer loans compared to designing savings and insurance products. Pero kami po sa SEDPI, ang ginagawa talaga namin ay hindi. Kung gusto mo ng non-productive asset or for consumption yan, tuturuan ka namin mag-ipon. Okay? At we will work out an arrangement on how we can earn. But it is not through loan at hindi yan through interest. Yung, for example, yung sa layaway program namin, yung mga members namin, tinuturuan namin na mag-save. Tapos, kami naman po ay kukuha ng order nila at maramihan kami na bibili, bultuhan, yung discount, doon po kami kikita. Okay? So, low-income individuals can save and will pay premium for insurance if these financial products are designed according to their needs and preferences. At kung nakikita talaga nila na mabilisan at talagang napapakinabangan nila yung insurance na yan. For example, sa amin, yung damayan namin, nagbabayad sila ng 400 pesos for 6 months. At nakikita talaga nila kasi kapag may namatay kaming miyembro, the following day, yan po talaga ay mabibisita na namin, mabibigay na yung benepisyo. So kapag nakafit sa kanila yung needs and preferences, sila po ay tatangkilikin po nila yan. Most nano enterprises also have extreme limited savings and insurance coverage because of the lack of financial products directly addressing their needs and preferences. Ang average loans po ng mga nano enterprises nasa 3,000 to 20,000 pesos. Usually short-term lang po nila itong binabayaran, less than 1 year, typically 6 months, 3 to 6 months. Collateral-free ang mga loans, kaya usually mas mataas ang interest rate. And this is usually payable in 3 to 6 months. At ang interest rate po usually nagre-range ng 2 to 5% per month. Okay? So dito po naman sa SEDPI microfinance natin, sa SEDPI Kanegosyo, less than 20,000 pesos, 95.7% po ng members natin ang nakapaloob dyan. At 20,000 to 50,000, 4% lamang. At yung greater than 50,000 ay 0.3% lamang. So tayo po talaga ay nagka-cater sa nano enterprises. Yan, no? Okay, so dito naman tayo sa market participation kasi ito talaga ang isa sa mga dahilan na nagpe-prevent sa mga nano enterprises para sila ay magkaroon ng maayos na pagbili ng mga produkto at pagbenta ng kanilang mga produkto at serbisyo. So how do they participate? Yan, ang isa sa mga problema nila, high cost of raw materials and labor. Hindi ko na po kailangang i-explain yan dahil felt nating lahat dahil sa tumataginting na 8.7% na inflation rate this January 2023. Meron din po silang limited market access. Marami sa kanila nahihirapan na ilagay sa merkado ang kanilang produkto. Transportation, market yung infrastruktura natin, 'di ba? Yung aangkatin natin na sibuyas ay mas mura pa, tumawid yun ng dagat kumpara dito sa tinanim na natin dito, mas mahal pa rin. That is because of limited infrastructure. Lack of market information, outdated ang ating technology, at inadequate services and infrastructure. 'Di ba pag kinumpare nga natin, tayo ang ating mga greenhouses sa Pilipinas 300 hectares lang pag pinag-total siya. Sa Vietnam, 6,000 hectares po ang kabuuan nila. Sa South Korea, 20,000 at saka sa Japan ay 40,000. Hello, Philippines, 'di ba? Ayun. So the poor are more than mere victims of circumstances. They are creative individuals. So kailangan lang talaga nating suportahan sila so that they can become they fulfill the full potential of themselves. So i-remove natin yung barriers that stand in their way that enables them to participate in markets. So gagawa tayo ng mga improvements like market linkages and market infrastructure. We strengthen the participation of nano-enterprises in value chains, and we design programs that lead to sustainable solutions. At itong sustainable solutions na to, paano siya magiging sustainable? Ito po dapat ay nag-a-achieve na high impact, specific and focused interventions, sustainable, cost-effective, at saka market-driven po dapat yan. Okay? So, yan po, no, sa Philippines naman ay, tapos ito pa, tayo pa talaga ay number 1 sa World Disaster Index in terms of exposure, vulnerability, susceptibility, lack of coping capacities, at saka adaptive capacities. So, ano yung coping mechanisms ng mga nano-enterprises in times of emergencies ayon sa aming research, no? They access loans, find additional work, ask for help from family members, and assistance from government and charitable institutions. They also sell their assets, they save, they pray, at damayan at insurance ginagamit din nila. So, loan ang pinaka-top na coping mechanism, pero ito yung pinaka-incompatible. Ang mas appropriate talaga na financial tool kapag emergency sa pinag-uusapan, insurance at savings po talaga dapat yan. Okay? There's also a change of coping mechanisms during the pandemic, no? At ang change po na ito ay ang top coping mechanism ay assistance from the government dahil nga lalo na yung finding additional work, di ba? Hindi ka naman makapagtrabaho during the lockdowns. Okay? Tapos insurance, savings, accessing loans, damayan, at saka distress selling of assets. Yan po yung mga coping mechanisms na nakuha natin, yung later na research natin. So lockdown and mobility restrictions may have influenced the change because they cannot operate their livelihoods, and it prevented nano-enterprises from working or finding additional work. So more market penetration of MFIs offering insurance and savings also explains why savings and insurance played a very important role during the times of emergencies, no? Kasi mataas na talaga yung penetration ng microfinance sa atin. Pero sana po ay i-promote pa ng mga microfinance institutions ang savings mobilization than giving higher loan amounts to nano-enterprises para i-finance ang kanilang growth, no? So savings not just as collateral to loans dapat, and this means they would be able to use their savings in during emergencies, and it will smoothen their expenditures. Okay? So insurance products with coverage for disasters, dapat maibigay din yan sa kanila, and it will also enable to restart their livelihood and not to be dependent on loans. So yung insurance sana natin, kapag tayo nagbigay dun sa mga apektuhan ng disaster, yung enough lang na makover at makapag-start ng kanilang livelihood. So streamline din po talaga sana natin yung ating processes and procedures para shorten yung turnaround time natin. Okay? So ito po naman yung digital inclusion ng mga nano-enterprises. So it refers to the activities necessary to ensure that all individuals, communities, including the most disadvantaged, have access to and use of information and communication technologies. So 40% po ng nano-enterprises natin have access to the internet. So 60% po yung wala. 52% lang po yung may smartphone. Yung kalahati, wala. 8% po yung may laptop. So most sa kanila ay wala pong laptops, no? So bakit sila walang ganon, no? Wala silang mga equipment for that or gadgets. The cost of smartphones at saka yung internet subscription po ay napakamahal for them, no? So meron din pong maraming mga nano enterprises ang nakatira sa mga areas na mahina ang signal ng telepono, lalo na sa rural areas. So, not owning a phone and having basic phone at limited yung kanilang access sa internet. Okay? So, and because of this, the nano enterprises are prevented from accessing information and taking advantage of opportunities online. So, yung mayroon po tayong constrained participation in e-commerce. At ang nangyayari po ay 19% lang yung nakakapag-online selling at 13% were able to buy products online. Okay? So 23% of nano enterprises have bank accounts, 3% have mobile wallets, and 3% know how to do online banking. So makikita po talaga natin na napakababa nung kanilang capacity in terms of digital technology. Okay? So access to government programs and services, ito naman po, no, they lack civil registry documents such as birth certificates and marriage certificates, which makes it challenging for them to access government welfare services such as SSS, Pag-IBIG, and PhilHealth. And because of this, dahil wala silang ID, it also gives them delay in getting the cash assistance from government during the pandemic. And yung nakita natin dito, yung kakulangan ng suporta talaga ng gobyerno sa mga nano enterprises ay nadahilan din ito dahil nakalump sila sa micro enterprises. So kung isa-separate natin sila, mas makikita natin yung pangangailangan ng nano enterprises, no? So we should separate them from nano and micro enterprises because they have a different profile, and MFIs serve mostly nano enterprises. Pero yung pagkakadesign ng mga financial products and services ay para sa mga micro enterprises. Okay? So sa micro enterprises kasi ang tinitignan, repayment history, capacity to pay, at saka savings as collateral. Pero kapag po mga nano enterprises, kailangan ng beyond that. There should be social safety net mechanisms for them because they're very vulnerable. Yung savings dapat ay accessible for emergency purposes, hindi lang collateral. May doon dapat capacity building for livelihood development, insurance coverage for disasters, at may subsidy dapat sa gobyerno, no? So, yung inconsistencies din, no, ng definition ng micro enterprises sa government agencies natin ay nagiging nakaka-confuse pa siya. And with this, nano enterprises are rendered invisible. Okay? Ineffective din po at saka inappropriate ang mga nagiging policies and programs because of this. Okay? So, yan, no? So, MFIs should design their financial products and services according to GFIs, no? At yung GFIs, yung government financial institutions kasi yan talaga yung nagde-design ng mga financial product, ay nagdidikta ng disenyo ng financial product and services at sumusunod lang yung mga microfinance institutions. Okay, so what's the way forward? Paano natin matutulungan ang mga nano enterprises? So we can make nano enterprises separate and distinct from micro enterprises para po sila ay maging visible at mas maging effective and customized yung mga programs natin sa kanila. And we would be able to provide them the opportunity to grow into a more sustainable enterprise that would lift them out of poverty, no? We should also have a more robust welfare and social safety net programs. Pag nagkasakit, dapat kayang gamutin ng libre sa mga ospital natin. Tapos kapag nag-aral, hindi lang po yung tuition yung libre. Sana po ay may assistance din po para sa day-to-day living ng bata para talagang siguraduhin makapag-aral. Yan po ang sinasabi nating mga social safety nets. I-allow din sana ang mga nano-enterprises to not just cope or survive, but to recover and thrive to transition as a micro or small enterprise. Okay? I-complement natin yung mga existing market-based approaches natin na i-reduce yung mga vulnerabilities ng mga nano-enterprises. Yung damayan natin, for example, pwede po natin yung buhayin kasi nakakatulong talaga yan sa mga nano-enterprises. Kapag na-upgrade na natin sila, nako, maganda po ang multiplier effect nito kasi maaaring mag-create ng employment and ang nano-enterprises talaga, dapat talaga ay i-recognize sila as pillars no in our socio-economic development because their sheer number of nano enterprises na nadidistinguish from micro enterprises should make them visible to the government and the private sector. So ayan po, no? Thanks for watching. Kung may kapamilya, kaibigan o kakilala kang tingin mo ay magiging interesado dito sa video, please share to them or tag them in the comments section. Siyempre, kung nagustuhan mo ang video, pusuan mo na ito. Subscribe ka na rin. As always, feel free to write your questions, comments, and opinions respectfully.